Now it's time to use the SR and RS function blocks in an example in Codesys. I will use the same example as in previous films. We have a motor that is started when current flows through the relay K1. We have monitoring contacts for the relay, but if we are using a PLC, we don't need them for the program. The motor should be started when we push 1 or 2 of the start buttons, start 1 and start 2, and the motor should be stopped when we push the stop button. All buttons, they will go back to the unpressed position when they are not pushed anymore. When we have used this example before, we have used latches in both ladder and in relay logic. When we connect the buttons to the PLC, they need to be connected to inputs, and we connect the motor relay to an output. Now I have chosen the correct configuration where the stop button is normally closed. Stop buttons should always be normally closed. We just have to keep that in mind when we make the program. I have started a new project in Codesys where I have an FBD program. We can see that on the symbol here. I have the same global variable list as I used for the ladder program, where I have the motor as an output and the start buttons and the stop button as inputs. Now we will make the program. I have the start of my program here, and I will start building my program down here. As soon as I click in the program, I have the toolbox where I can use Boolean operators. They're here. And I have function blocks here. The function block that we should test today is the RS latch. I'll use one of those. I drag it and drop it on start here. Now we see that it requires a name. Codesys has given me a suggestion, RS0. It's not really a name that says anything. Maybe we should change it. I call it motor latch, hit enter. And as for all other variables, I get the suggestion for auto declare. And Codesys suggests that I should declare this variable as type RS. And I want to do that because this is an RS function block. And it should be a local variable, yes. I don't want to have my function blocks as global variables. I want to have them locally. Okay, and now we see that this motor latch is in the local variable list. For my output, I want to have my motor, but there is nowhere to write here. I have to put in an assignment here. I can do that either by dragging assignment from here or by clicking here, and then I find the variable here, or I can use my right mouse button and click and choose insert assignment. Here I can put the name of my output, motor. I can find it by clicking the 3 dots. I have it in application, GVL, motor. Double click, and there it is. It should be reset by the stop button, but now I have used a normally closed stop button, which means that I have to invert this signal. The motor should be stopped when the signal stop is false. Right click here and choose negation. The motor should be started when I press either start 1 or start 2. I need an OR block. I can find the OR block over here, drag and drop. And then we have the input variables start 1 or start 2. Like this. Now we have used the recent dominant latch. Before we test this, I can make a set dominant latch as well, and we can compare them at the same time. I just copy this network and paste it again. Then I have an identical network. It doesn't really make any sense because then I'm doing the same thing twice. But I wanted to test an SR latch, which means that I want to change this from RS to SR. Then I can just click on the name here and write SR. Then now it's an SR latch. You see that there is something wrong here, and that is because it has the same name as this. It should not be. Call this motor latch SR and declare it. Now we have both latches here. We can't really run this yet because now I'm writing to motor both here, and then this will overwrite everything. So I will make a new test variable just to test what will happen with the motor signal. So I will call this motor1. And I will put it in the global variable list together with motor, then I can compare them to each other. Global. Now I have both motor and motor1. If I want to have them close to each other, I can move this one to here. And now I can test it. First, I make sure that I am in simulation mode. I am. If not, I can go to online and simulation. Now I see it's checked, so I shouldn't choose it again. Now I can log in. I haven't simulated this program before, so Codesys gives me the warning. You have not made a simulation before. Do you want to start one? Yes. And I start my simulation. Now everything is false, nothing happens, of course. I try starting my motors by pushing start 1. Give it the prepared value true, Control F7 to write it, and we see that motor 1 is started, but not motor. And that is because stop is false, which means that I have pushed my stop button. Already here we see that now we have true here and true here after the negation. This motor is started, this is not. This is reset dominant and this is set dominant. I should release my stop button. Now both motors are started because set is true in both systems and reset is false. I can release the start button. Start 1 is false and both motors are running. So we have the latch function. I can stop them by making stop false. If I make stop true again, they remain stopped, which means that we have tested all possibilities here. We have seen that the SR is set dominant and that the RS is reset dominant, and they both work as latches.